this video we're going to create this website design in Sketch, and I'm going to share with you some of my workflows and some tips and tricks that can help you make design more efficiently and faster. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright, so let's get started in this tutorial. And the very first thing which I'm gonna do is bring up my keyboard, and we're going to set up an artboard in Sketch. So I have a brand new document opened, so I'm just going to go over here, responsive web, click on desktop HD since we want 1440 of pixel width, and I think we're good to go when it comes to the artboard. And what I'm gonna do is to go on Unsplash. So basically I went on unsplash.com, which is a great place to find royalty-free photos, and I'm going to search around for a photo which is going to be the base for this website design. So the first thing that we're going to do is to go right here. We're just going to click on this photo, going to download it, and copy image, bring it up here, and we're going to make it bigger. So this is going to be the base for this specific project, and we're going to have a header on the very top and have a menu. So first thing that we're gonna do is to add some text. So in order to make my workflow easier, I'm just going to bring this artboard down, and I'm going to lock the layer in so that I don't so that I won't be able to accidentally change and move around the background too much. So that's that, and I have this text. Just going to grab one of these colors from the image, and I'm going to center up all of this stuff right here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do after that is go on web, on type, and select a headline, and we're just going to keep on with this headline, maybe mention the C literally at the very start, and we're also going to have a sub headline which is just going to be filler lorem ipsum text. So let's go ahead, let's select headline again. Let's just pretend for a moment that this makes some sense whatsoever. And we're going to be fine with this. All right, so I'm actually wondering if we can find some cool Google fonts for the top header. I really wanted to pop, so I'm going to go over here, search for Google fonts and serif. And although I have a bunch of Google fonts already installed, which by the way you can install any one of these Google fonts by simply selecting one, and you can download it very easily. So you just go over here, for example, click at the very top right, download family, allow, and boom, you're good to go. You can install the font, just going to be all neatly organized, and yeah, you're going to be pretty much set. So the first thing that I'm gonna look for is for some Google font that I can just like try and mix with Lato, which I guess it's what we're keeping. So I'm going to try Merriweather, and also I was looking at another one before, but for some reason I cannot see it anymore. Merriweather is quite cool, so let's give it a try over here. Let's start typing in. As you can see all the related text right here. Maybe we don't want to go with the heavy version, we want to go with the regular one. And yeah, I think this is starting to look good. And let's go here, let's make this one regular. And I think I'm quite happy with this. For some reason I don't want the, don't know why it's using the capital letters, you know, at the beginning of each word. Just going to make this, yeah. Okay, I just need to go in and manually make them lowercase. So that's going to solve the issue. In some cases, I might want to have uppercase first words, but in other ones, or it's going to be more appropriate to not have the uppercases. So we're gonna do the same also for these lower, for the sub headline, and I think we're good with this. All right. So let's go ahead and let's create the top menu. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to start typing in home, and it's actually, we're going to use a different style, but before doing that, I'm just going to copy in these menu items again. So it's going to be explore. This one is going to be about. This other one is going to be services. And then we're going to have the contact us section. All right. So we are in business. Now let's make these ones a little bit smaller. We're going to go with, let's give it a try with the bold version. Okay, I'm quite pleased with this. Maybe let's just make these text rounded numbers, and let's make these even smaller. So we're going to go with 14 pixels in total. All right, this is starting to look quite good. And let's just create a like a logo over here, which is going to be related. Let's just call it C, literally. So this is my creativity at my best. And yeah. All right, and we're just going to keep it like this. Maybe I'm going to try a different version of the logo with this font over here. So let's give it a try with Merriweather. And not too sure about which one to go with. So as you can see, it's all about trying out some ideas. Ventures. Let's give it a try. I'm going to go with this style right here. Actually, let's just keep it at C. And I'm going to bring it up here. All right. So I think we're in a good place. We also have our C logo right here. I'm just going to make it 50% opacity so it stands out a little bit more. And we're going to have a call to action to scroll down so that the user can understand that there's more coming up in this page. So I'm going to use this application, which is called Icon Jar. And it's really good. If you never used Icon Jar before, you can simply Google it. So go on Google Icon Jar, click on geticonjar.com, and you can try it for free. So basically, this is a software which allows you to have icon sets. And the really cool thing is that, for example, as I'm going to show in just a moment, you can literally drag and drop the icons on top of your sketch file. So this is really useful. Just consider one thing, that you want to ungroup these and also remove this top path, which is created by default, which Sketch creates by default. So just something to keep in mind. And I'm going to make this arrow quite smaller, and I'm going to also duplicate it. So we're going to have essentially 2 arrows going in. I'm going to group this, And yep, I think we're in a good shape with this. Just going to make this one a little bit closer to each other. And I'm actually wondering if this makes more sense. Actually, it does. So let's just keep that idea overall. And I'm just going to make these guys just a little bit more opacity. So I'm going to bring it down, and let's go over here and let's make this entire section bigger in width. And I'm going to use the rectangle tool in order to create some more color over here. So we're just going to add a little bit more of depth to the entire project. So, all right, I think we're doing good. Just going to make it a little bit darker, and just really try and figure out the point where it blends in the most, I guess. So, all right, so this is quite a nice concept, and let's go ahead and let's just duplicate this, and we're going to have some text in white in this bottom section. So the assumption is that the user is just going to scroll down all the way to this section, and over here we're going to have some another subheadline. So the ocean is very deep, just like, and then this is just going to be a catchy headline. Let's bring this one down as well, and we're going to add 2 paragraphs styles for this. So let's click on article. I'm going to go with advertising again. And by the way, if you don't know what this is Craft, which is a free plugin by InVision. It's really cool for creating content automatically. So really recommended. And let's just go over here, and I'm going to make this. So we have way too much text compared to what we want. So I'm just going to remove some of these, and I'm going to copy this one here, and I'm going to paste it, and voila. So I'm actually making it more complicated than it should be. The easiest way is you can literally just grab some, you can literally like create a text path in a rectangle, and you should be pretty good to go, to be honest. So that's something to consider. And all right, I think we're going in a good direction now. And yeah, essentially what I wanted to do is just to have these 2 sections. And since this is not a real project, I'm not stressing too much about like the guidelines and the columns and layout. However, if you're looking to work on a real project, one thing that I would consider doing is to actually use them. So you can go over here, show layout, and if you go on the very top right and you search layout on Sketch, for some reason it's not showing the recording, but essentially on the very top right under help, and you search layout, you're going to be able to find all of the options, all of the areas where you can modify the layout. So you can literally tweak this to however you want. And one thing that I like to do is if you're working with a developer, you want to be in touch with the developer right away from the first iteration, from the first page, and just check with him if the layout is working on his part. So basically, you're 100% sure that everything that you're doing is working fine from the development point of view. So yeah, just a quick tip, and this is definitely going to be very useful. And yeah, definitely to keep in mind. So let's go over here, and we're going to add a small label above. So this is going to be label 1, and we're just going to copy the style, paste the style, center this guy, and make it white. All right, perfect. So I think we're in a good position so far. We're doing some really good progress, and at this moment what I want to do is to create a rectangle, and in this rectangle I'm going to add an image. So let's go back into Safari in my case, and I'm going to go on unsplash.com. I'm going to search for sailor, and let's see what we can find when it comes to images that could be well with this composition. So this one is quite cool, especially because that's that red element. Great picture by Mitchell Luo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy the image, actually go ahead and just copy it directly. Another way you can add the images is you can select this rectangle, go under fill here, choose image, and basically this is going to appear. But yeah, I think for this specific case we should be good to go with this one. And yeah, overall I'm quite pleased with this image. Maybe we could consider having this as a part of a gallery. So instead of just having like this one image, we could have a few images in the background, something around these lines. I'm just going to group this, center it. It's like this one here, center it as well. And I could add a shadow in here, and I'm just going to play around with some effects, some ideas, and yeah, I think this is looking cool. And I'm going to try a few other images directly from here. Oops. I'm going to use iStock. Let's give it a shot. Haven't really used this feature over here. Only shape layers are supported. Alright, so we just need to create this as a shape layer, I guess. Let's give it a try. And yep, it's uploading. However, I do have the iStock logos and all that, so probably won't be using this solution. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm going to go under plugin, and I downloaded or actually let me go on the web on Craft. So by the way guys, just to loop you in, I already mentioned it before, but if you search on Google for Craft InVision and you click on the very first link, really, you can see that you can download the plugin directly from here. So basically you click on it, downloads the plugin, you double click on the sketch file which you just downloaded, and you're going to be able to see Craft on your plugins list. And let's go over here. I'm going to search for Unsplash, and very important, when you're using this web window in the Craft plugin, be sure to click on Command whenever you're entering any action which you would normally do. So for example, I used Command and then I click on Enter in order to enter this query on Google. I'm also going to click and hold Command, click on Unsplash again. So if you don't do this, it's basically going to return an error. So just keep it in mind. Again, Command, and then I click, and I'm going to try a few of these photos, see how they look in this in the composition. Try to find photos which are going to look well within the composition, really. And I'm talking about the colors, the white space, and all that good stuff. Really, I'm just going to scroll a little bit more, and an annoying thing is that you cannot really like enlarge this view, or at least I don't know how to do it. If anyone knows how to enlarge this window, it would be greatly appreciated if you can drop it as a comment in the chat and let us all know, because it would really be appreciated. So okay, I'm just going to select this one, and I'm going to go over here. I just want to change this one as well, and just want an image which has a little bit more of a visual differentiation from like a colors and perspective. I mean, let's try this one. I still want something which is a little bit darker, so I'm going to scroll some more. Try this one. I'm probably going to change my search query. So I'm just going to go over here, search for C, and I'm going to, oh, this looks nice. Let's give it a try. Yeah, you can't really see the C though. Maybe yes, maybe not. Okay, I'm probably spending way too much time on this. Let's just keep it as it is for now. And I'm going to go over here and use Command plus K in order to make these images smaller. So, all right. Now I want to add a human touch to this, and I probably want to have a section which talks about the founders. So let's go overhead here. Let's bring it to the back. And I'm going to left align all of this, left align it over here, bring this one here, and I'm going to copy this headline right here. This is going to be about, or actually about us or about me. Maybe we're just going to find the picture of one person, so let's just keep it about me. And we're in a good position. Now let's click on rectangle tool. Let's create a rectangle right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on the web again. Oops. You see what happens when you're trying to select without using command. Basically, you have this alert box. So I'm going to go over here, write portrait, and I'm going to add this this portrait picture right here. We can go with this style, so the image is quite big. Yeah, not too sure about it. Maybe I want a smaller image. Okay, this is looking pretty good. The only thing is that I don't like the way it's cropped. So what I'm gonna do is, since I'm happy with this image, but I just want a different crop orientation, I'm just gonna go here, bring this rectangle below. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating the area in which the image is going to be cropped. I'm going to select both of these rectangles, click on mask, and we are in business. Now let's remove this border, and I'm going to select the image below, just make it a little bit more on the top, and we're in a good position now. We have our image. Let's make it just a little bit smaller, and I think we're good to go. I'm also going to apply a gradient to this background, since I want it to be a little bit more dynamic. So let's select this very first one. I'm going to apply a dark color, and the second part, I'm just going to make it even more colorful, I guess. Let's let's give it a try, or even darker. Yeah, makes sense, since we're assuming that we're going under the sea, so the lower you go, the more dark the environment is going to be. So that's that, and I think we're good to go with this. Now we're going to add a call to action section, and this is going to use some lines in order to differentiate this section from the one above. I'm also going to lock this layer, otherwise it's just going to keep moving around, and that's not something that we necessarily want. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to make this headline just a touch smaller. Let's just pretend that we're working with heading 2s or heading 3s, and let's go ahead here, and I'm going to change the text to "Are you ready to get started in this adventure?" And I'm going to copy one of these textiles right here, or actually I'm going to copy this other one, and as I'm looking at them, let's just give these guys a little bit more of character spacing between one character and the other, just because I think it looks cool in this kind of layout. It's going to be label 2. Oops, let's make it all caps. All right, perfect. I'm going to use auto width so that we don't have these huge lines. And I'm going to create the very first button over here. So over here, let's just make this border white. Let's remove the fill. And let's add a little bit of width. Let's bring this one here, and this is going to be the call to action, get started. All right, this is looking good. So far so good. And I'm probably going to make the text in the call to action a little bit bigger, so that it really stands out, even black as the font weight. So from bold to black font weight, and yeah, I think we're good to go. And we're also going to have another call to action. Oops, need to duplicate this, not remove it altogether. Perfect. Or we're going to give it a second option, which is going to be to call the support or contact sales team. And probably we're going to actually use another button for this. Now that I'm looking at it, makes sense. So let's left align this, or contact sales. And probably, since we want to differentiate the first call to action from the second one, what we're going to do is we're going to apply a fill to this one, and we're going to make this first button a full color. So I'm actually wondering if a color for one, but probably we're just going to go with the minimal approach. So we're going to select this guy, and yeah, that's exactly how it's going to plan out. Perfect. So we have our bottom call to action, and I think this is the perfect time to create a footer. So let's go ahead here. Let's add a little bit of more height to this bottom rectangle. And I'm going to go over here and just make it smaller. All right, I'm going to select these guys again, go over here, copy them, and I'm just going to make all of these white, bring them here. So this one, we're going to make it white. And I'm actually wondering if we can do something else with this logo. Still not too fond about it. So I'm just going to try and possibly making it better. Let's give it a try. If we go all caps and if we select Lato, we make it black, and then we add some character spacing in between. Oops, it's a little bit too much. Maybe even smaller, making it smaller. Huh. Could be an alternative. It gives a more minimal touch to the logo. Just want to go above and have a look, play around with some ideas. And again, we're not really strict so on the actual style. So if you're following along and you're creating your own version of this website, feel free to just go ahead and try different logos, different ideas. It's all about testing and experimenting, really. So, all right, this is a more minimal approach, I guess. The other one had a little bit more of a specific style. Let's try and make this logo pop out a little bit more. Maybe these colors. Let's try and go ahead over here. I'm probably going to go with this direction. So again, I'm going to copy this guy right here, bring it down, and just going to make it all white. And I think we're about to wrap this up. All right, it's looking cool. Let's just bring the artboard a little bit more above. And we probably want to have some sort of copyright or disclaimer text. So that's what we're gonna do right here. Copyright 2020 C XYZ. I'm just making up a name, and going to add the disclaimer and some terms and conditions. Of course, I'm totally making this up. You should look at these things. You should look at all of these things in detail if you're working with on a client project. It's all stuff that you need to take care of. But since this is just for entertainment purposes, I guess it's actually it is. These details do not matter. So let's go ahead here, let's bring this sections above, and we are pretty much set and good to go. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're interested in having a look at some of my other UI kits and other video tutorials, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. I have over 300 videos on design tutorials and even giving advice as I've been a freelance designer for the past 6 years. And I guess I'll see you in the next video.